Thank you to all of you who heard the previous episodes, offered comments, feedback, and liked and shared and subscribed to my podcast. I do hope you had a great Diwali, and I wish you brightness and positivity going ahead. This episode is titled Speaking Wrists and is about wrist watching, which I wrote some 7 years ago. What is personality? It is an impression that is depicted initially, both visually, the countenance, the apparel, the gait, the body language, confidence, and demeanor, as well as the reverberations, resonance, and tone of the voice of the individual. We have all seen commanding, magnetic, humble, loud, and several other types of personalities in our daily interactions. Yet each of us is sculpted by nature, environment, and the people within ourselves to reflect personality and how we dress, we speak, or conduct ourselves. Shakespeare said, "The apparel oft proclaims the man." And I think if Shakespeare had to say that today, he would say, "The apparel oft proclaims the man, the woman, or the other." Now, on to the topic of watching wrists. He is a people watcher. He often sits alone where people frequent and watches them at airports, railway stations, streets, outdoor restaurants, beaches, and promenades. He watches loners, couples, and groups. Their body and facial language, the apparel they wear, including headgear and footwear, their gait and manner, speak out to him. His mind is busily generating a story about each person based on the observations. Have you ever tried that? It's pretty good fun. There were days in the past, and now fast disappearing, when a person's wristwear spoke out loud. And yes, while I'm talking about wristwatches, it holds good for chains, bracelets, and any type of ornament worn on wrists. There were women with tiny or large dials on their wrists. The dials were round, oval, rectangular, dainty, designer shaped, colored, and with different hues. They sported different types of straps: chain link, leather, gold, silver, narrow, broad, sleek, loud. Cases embedded with stones, and some simplistically stylish, and yet others that did not call out or leave any impression. Light, medium, or heavy, some were even neck watches on a pendant. Men, on the other hand, had sleek or heavy cases, designer watches by Rolex or Omega, and then some with many buttons to push and shove. Sea Master, Trek Master, Dive Master, Mountain Master, etc., each with its own unnecessary buttons and dials, which were seldom used. Dials that were quiet or shouted out for attention with gold, numerous numbers, dates, months, phases of the moon, and the like. Straps that were heavy steel or gold or light titanium, linked or solid, classy leather, webby, or some sort of plasticky rubber, and so on. Each wristwatch worn by men or women reflected or spoke of the personality or character whose wrist it owned. Gentle, calm, bold, fashionable, brandy as in brand conscious, loud, bossy, show off, and the like. One could literally look at the wrist and start a story. A look at their face with expressions and their apparel thereafter, and the story would gain character and body. Look around today, as he pointed out to his wife at a baggage carousel in an international airport several years ago. More than 40 to 50% had these boring black bits on the wrists, either rectangular, circular, or square faces, with synthetic straps and dark screens that came to life when they are rotated or touched. They are Fitbits, Apple Bits, Samsung Bits, or some other wrist bit or the other. And they all do the same things. They measure your steps, your heart rate, your sleep pattern, oxygen levels after COVID, and have either an analog or digital watch face that wakes up when touched. Most also vibrate and light up when a message or call is received on the phone, and most of the time that's what they're used for. Of course, they also keep time and need to be charged. The wrist no longer speaks out about the person within or their personalities. It is almost like communist USSR and Mao's China when every citizen in those countries at the time wore the same print and uniform and had the same haircuts and coats. They merged into a oneness. Unfortunately, wrists no longer speak out as they did. Today, most people on the go also wear what looks like little mushrooms in their ears and are referred to as earpods, which also ruins their hearing in the long run, of course. Now imagine a photo of a mass of people with the focus only on their ears and wrists. Can you picture the developing oneness? Almost everybody copying others, and by doing so, are they suppressing the personalities and individuality within that could be shouting out? Think about it. And since you are probably wondering about your host, he wears analog wristwatches powered by motion or by light, and no buds in the ear. Think about it, food for thought, and goodbye.